All right, we're back again. Now we are on example 3. So we're going to use the formulas to simplify this. Okay, so let's look at what we have here. We have a cos, and then we have a plus sign. So we know that to be cos A minus B. Okay, so just looking at your formula sheet. Now what do we have? Our A happens to be 3 theta, and our B just happens to be theta. So we just simplify that. Well, 3 take away 1 is 2 theta. Okay, so there's our answer. Well, next one here, we have a cos, and we have that guy, so that's a cos A plus B. So now we have cos 7x plus 2x, and we know that is cos 9x. All right, so let's use the sum and difference to simplify. All right, so here we have sine A minus B. This happens to be the A and that happens to be the B. So let's expand it out looking at the formula sheet. And what we get is we get sine pi over 2 cos theta subtract cos pi over 2 sine theta. Now we write down the values. Well, the value of that is, we don't know what theta is, so we just carry that down. We can get a value for that guy, and we just carry that one down. Now, this guy is the unit circle, and remember it's up here. And we have that memorized. Remember, it's 0, 1, undefined. And the values are alphabetical, C, S, and T. And we're dealing with sine, so sine is 1. And cosine is 0, so that's gone. So all that simplifies to cos theta. Now we are going to do some identities. So now we're going to look at trying to make the left side and the right side equal. So we know this is a cos A minus a B. So we're looking at our formula sheet and we write down what it is. So we know it's cos pi over 2 cos theta plus sine pi over 2 sine theta. And back to that unit circle, we remember this is 0, so that side's gone. This is 1 times sine theta. Well, we know that is sine theta, and there's what it is. So take some time, try that one, and then pause, and then you can check the answer. So right here we have a double negative, so that's positive sign. So that's how we get that identity. Now we're looking at some example 5 where we're going to find out what theta is. So here, let's look at the picture. So we're given this information and it's in quadrant 2. So we need to draw a picture first to see what our triangle looks like in our ratios. So we have, remember, sine is the opposite, so 4 over 5, and that's 3, using our triplets of Pythagoras, and it's negative because it's going to the left. So now once you got your picture developed, you can answer this question. So it's a sine A plus B. So now we're going to write that out. So we have sine theta cos pi over 6 plus cos theta sine pi over 6. Now we are going to write down these ratios. All right. So remember, sine theta we had it right there. It's 4 over 5. And the cosine of pi over 6, I'll just draw it because every time I draw it I get to memorize it better. The cosine is root 3 over 2. Now the cosine of theta, remember it's the adjacent, so it's got the root 3 over the 5, and the sine is 1 over 2, and so we get 4 root 3 over 10 plus negative 3 over 10, and that just simplifies to that all over 10. So that's our answer. Now take a few minutes, try this one, and I'll pause it. You guys can pause it and get the answer. So hopefully you got negative 12 over 13.